Hello and welcome,
Hey,
everybody.
hey there. Hello from Germany.
But to kick it off, Martin put together this wonderful presentation. Martin, I'm going to hand it over to you. Take us into the wonderful world of auto reversing rings.
Okay, thanks everyone for joining us, and let's dive into our presentation. Okay, shall we go on to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's us. We already introduced ourselves. Here's a short overview of everything we'll cover today in this presentation. We will have a full demonstration of our reversing rings. We call the rings retro adapters. We will give you tips on how to use them well with different focal lengths. We will also let you know of what camera adapters and what lenses are compatible. We will configure a whole setup. Speaking of a camera and a lens and the adapter, we will have a short video taken by Matt yesterday that lets you see right through his camera's viewfinder. And we will also give you some information of how you can get even more magnification with some of our macro bellows. And in the end, there's a live Q&A with both of us. And should you have additional questions, please leave them in the comments section or send us an email, and we'll be happy to answer all of these questions.
Fantastic. All right.
Okay, so what is a macro reversing ring? That's a very good question. It's, well, I have one here. It's basically, that's what it is. It's basically two mounts connected by cables. So in other words, it's a communications device that lets your camera speak to your lens while it's flipped around. And we will explore this in the next slide a little bit better. As you can see here, the retro adapter has two mounts. It's the camera mount and the lens mounts, and it has these gold-plated contacts that lets your camera speak to your lens while it's flipped around. It lets you use autofocus in some cases if that's something you would like to use. It lets you stop down the lens to achieve the perfect f-stop value for the shot you're trying to do. Okay, here is a perfect example of a mirrorless camera. It's a Panasonic Lumix S1 with a reverse-mounted 24 to 105 millimeter lens, and that's how the whole construction basically, the whole setup basically is going to look. And what we have here is a perfect example of what you can achieve if you reverse mount one of your, if you flip around one of your kit lenses. We used a Fuji 18 to 135 millimeter lens, and we just reverse mounted it and set at 50 millimeters focal lengths. We have this amazing, we were able to capture this amazing image of a dollar coin. And in the next image, we can see the same dollar coin with the same lens flipped around at 90 millimeter focal lengths. Isn't that awesome? What do you say, Matt?
Wow. I think I had no idea. I mean, I knew that these existed before, but just the fact that I can use my kit zoom lens and flip it around and at different focal lengths have massively different magnifications. It makes sense, but seeing it in action, it makes me really excited.
I know that reversing ring for your favorite camera, the Nikon C6, is already on its way to you to New York. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your images. Okay, here's the same lens, still the dollar lens. Not the same lens, still the dollar coin, but taken with the very same lens, the 18 to 135 millimeter Fuji lens, set at 100 millimeter focal length. And as you can see, we almost have the entire coin filling the entire frame. Here's another cool picture. It's taken of a seashell with the same lens, still the same lens, the 18 to 135 millimeter. At what focal length, Matt? Could you flip around our pictures so I can see the focal length? It's taken at 70 millimeter focal lengths. Here at 93, and here at 122 millimeters. So I'm trying to say is that you do not necessarily need a dedicated macro lens to achieve awesome macro images, because all of these lenses have been taken with a standard kit lens, the 18 to 135. It's actually a very inexpensive Fuji lens, and by just flipping it around, we can create sort of a loop effect at amazing image quality, and that's a really cool feature. Don't you agree?
I completely agree. I think it's fantastic. You have a little bit more information coming up about the relationship between focal length and magnification, right?
Exactly. We have several slides coming, and we will explain the mystery behind this whole thing in more detail. Okay, some people were wondering for which camera systems there is auto reversing rings available. So it's basically for all the mirrorless camera systems out there, and we have an auto reversing ring for one DSLR camera system. That's the Canon EOS system, and all the others, as I pointed out earlier, are mirrorless systems. So we have one for Canon EOS R, we have one for the Fuji X system, we have one for Nikon Z. And if you happen to have the original Nikon F to Z adapter, you can also use your F-mount lenses with the Nikon Z flipped around. Oh, you do have an example. Awesome, cool.
I'll show you guys later, yeah.
We also have a reversing ring for the L-mount. That includes cameras from Panasonic, Leica, and Sigma, because all of these three manufacturers share the same mount. They created the L-mount alliance, so you can flip around lenses and camera bodies. So that's a cool thing. Then we have one for all the Micro Four Thirds shooters out there, which includes cameras from Olympus and Panasonic. And of course, we do have one for all the Sony E-mount shooters out there. So I think we pretty much covered the entire spectrum of macro capable cameras out there.
All right.
Do you want to add something, Matt? Please
No,
go ahead.
I was reading some of the questions. I'm sorry. There's a lot of good comments.
Is the ruler in centimeters?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
we'll get to that a little later. So some of you did ask which lenses are compatible. We have this cool graph here on the right side of the slide, and a few examples on the left-hand side. But we can say the shorter the focal length or the wider your lens gets, the higher the magnification will become. So that's it's illustrated by the graph on the right-hand side, and the few examples on the left illustrate the fact. So if for example, you're shooting a Micro Four Thirds camera and you happen to have the 12 to 100 millimeter lens, you'll be able to reach magnification factors all the way from 1.7 to almost 4 times life size. Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's a very high magnification.
So I'm not used to thinking about, I'm used to focusing close with wide angle lenses, but not macro close. So that's just fascinating.
And we had a Fuji X-mount camera in one of the previous slides and we were using it with the 18 to 135 millimeter lens. Another cool Fuji kit lens is the 55 to 200. And if you flip around this lens and it is set to 55 millimeters, you'll be able to reach a magnification as high as 4.5 to 1. And all of that you can achieve with a standard inexpensive kit lens. Remember that.
So the lens you own can be a macro lens.
Exactly. And if you compare that to a dedicated macro lens, you can achieve higher magnification factors because most standard macro lenses are able to reach magnification factors as high as 1:1. And that's it. Okay, shall we go on?
Now, is it? Well, there's one point. Is the resolving power of kit lenses better than in the regular orientation when you reverse it?
That's actually a very good question, Matt. If you reverse your standard kit lenses, the resolving power actually gets better. You can achieve higher magnification images compared to standard mounting of the kit lens. It's very interesting, and you'll be amazed if you just reverse mount one of these kit lenses.
Makes me wish I became a lens optical designer. If my math were stronger, maybe I would have. This is fascinating.
Okay, so what comes with the retro adapter kit? That's illustrated in this slide. The sensitive rear lens element, and the stepping ring marked with number 3 is optional. So the reversing ring comes with a 58mm filter thread by default, and if your lens, the lens you want to flip around, has a different diameter, you need to add a stepping ring. So he have an example, 8mm filter thread, so there's no extra stepping ring required.
Now we're going to do a demo with Martin.
Okay, so let's assemble a complete reverse adapter kit. I have my Canon EOS R camera here, and I did bring of course, the appropriate reversing ring, and I have a Canon 17 to 85mm lens. It's an original EF mount lens, and we'll make it compatible with the original Canon adapter. It's the mount adapter EF EOS R. So I combine these two first. And this lens does not come with a 58mm filter thread, so I have to attach one of the optional filter stepping rings. Okay. Okay, so now I have assembled the entire kit. And now you can just reverse mount. Oops. That's where the red dot is. Reverse mount the lens. And that's how easy it is to reverse mount your lens. You're still able to adjust the focal length. You're still able to adjust the focus. And of course, you control the f-stop by means of the appropriate dials on your camera.
That's amazing.
Okay, Matt, do you want to just play the video that you pre-recorded yesterday?
Yeah.
The views through your camera?
Yeah, so what I did was I have a Nikon Z6, and I mounted my 50mm f1.4 G lens on it, which has a native 58mm thread mount. In fact, I can show you guys. I have that very same setup here. So I have the lens reversed here, and this is one end of the reversing ring. This is the other end of the reversing ring. And on the front of it, we have the Heliopan protection filter and the handy dandy little lens cap keeper, and the lens cap is included. What a nice touch. And of course, it's all connected with this. So I hooked it up to my Ninja V recorder so I could record what's coming through the EVF. And there's no sound to this video, but it's only like 29 seconds long. So don't think something's wrong when I hit play. There's just nothing interesting to say. So I'm going to say it now. One of the things that I discovered during this was that, and you'll see this during the last clip, as I open up the lens, the bokeh changes dramatically. As I stop down, you'll see almost the perspective sort of breathe in and out. And I found that fascinating. I think I can use that very creatively as I move forward. So without further ado, here's the video. Hey, this is fun, right?
Is that a Mamiya lens?
Yeah, it's a 35 millimeter, 645 lens.
That's what I thought. Everyone seems
and that's
fascinated.
It, right? Look at that.
Microphotography. Wasn't that awesome?
Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's funny. When we're playing the video, normally the sound doesn't come through while we're talking. So you guys got this here behind the curtains a little bit there. So back to our slides. Demo time. We just did that. And what's it look like through a camera? We just saw that. So
how can I get even more magnification? Well, that's a very good question. What you can do is you can attach almost on a, let's put it different. You can attach every one of the NOVOFLEX auto reversing rings to any of the NOVOFLEX universal bellows. So there's different universal bellows out there. We have 3 different bellows. And by adding one of the auto reversing rings to one of our universal bellows, you can make them become a smart bellows with complete communication between your lens and the camera back and forth. And as you can see here in this slide, you can mount the lens flipped around or in just standard configuration. And by adding extension in between your camera and your lens, you can even achieve higher magnification factors. So it's that easy. Do you want to add something, Matt?
I'm just saying, I'm
something
amazed.
You discovered through our video shoot and Catskills last year.
Well, I'm amazed over and over again as I descend deeper into the, I'd say the black hole of macro photography. I say that in a fascinating sense in that it's sucking me in. The myriad of opportunity to configure different pieces and parts of an imaging system that are connected by NOVOFLEX just continues to amaze me. Not only can I use my standard lens or a macro lens and I can extend it, I can just, like Legos, put all these things together in such a precision manner that my confidence and my ability to do creative things with extreme magnification just going up and up and up. So thank you for that.
That's building blocks for photographers, in other words.
Yes, yes, I love it.
Okay, shall we go on?
Yes.
Which bellows are compatible? That's a good question. We have, as I mentioned that earlier, we have 3 different bellows. There's the Bell Pro 1 universal bellows. I have it here. It has fixed standards on the front and the rear. And if you want to add tilt and shift capability, we have the Bell Pro TS bellows. So it adds tilt and shift on both standards.
Wow.
And if you're looking for a more compact bellows, for bellows that you can carry around if you're out and about, we have this small little fellow here. We call it the Bell F. And in one of the next slides, we're going to assemble a complete smart bellows setup for you guys so you can see what's possible.
Exciting.
Demo time.
Here
we are. Yes.
So let's do this and get Martin in full screen.
Okay, I still have my setup here, the one that I combined for you guys earlier. And now we replace that with the bellows. Put this in here. I just disassemble everything. And to attach the auto reversing ring to the bellows, I need 2 adapter rings. One that makes sure the ring attaches to the front, and one that goes to the rear standard. We just screw it in here, screw the other ring in here. And now we lock it down. So that's how easy it is to combine all the different NOVOFLEX building blocks to achieve even higher magnification with your existing equipment. So if you already own one of our reversing rings and you want to achieve higher magnification, just purchase one of our bellows plus the 2 adapter rings that attach the reversing ring to the bellows, and you can go on to work with your existing gear.
That's amazing. So okay, my confidence just went up again. So not only if I buy one piece at a time, not only can I do one thing with it, but like we were talking about the adult Legos here, I have future potential by using different adapters to add it to other things.
Exactly, that's what it is.
Wow. So Bradley asked, what is your magnification with this kit?
With this particular kit, why don't we just try out what happens, and I just hold a ruler in front of it. We can do it live.
In the meantime, I know, Bradley, there's some pretty extensive documentation in the Bellows kits. You can find the user manuals often have all of these magnification factors included in them. So we can look that up on the website. If not, we can get back to you with that specific information. So thank you. So Martin.
Yep.
I can't see the back of your camera.
Sorry. Let me get back to Matt with that specific information later.
Okay. We also have NOVOFLEXUS.com is going through a complete rebuild, and we are imminently going to release that website with more features and more information. So in the coming months, you will see not only a better website with a better experience, but more answers to questions like this.
Hey, there's another interesting question by Terrence that we can answer right away. Will your system work with Sony G Master lenses, both fixed and zooms? Terrence, are you referring to the smart bellows or just the auto reversing rings? So if you want to just use the auto reversing rings, we would definitely recommend to use it with zoom lenses only. But if you're into the auto reversing rings and the bellows, you can definitely use both zooms and primes as well.
We've been talking about these with a lot of people. And there are some common questions in addition to the ones that we're going to get to your guys next. So we did cover this a little bit earlier. Is the NOVOFLEX auto reversing ring available for my camera system? We showed the graphic, but here it is in writing and a different way to look at it. Yes, both forms of Canon, the EOS and EOS R system, the DSLR mirrorless, Fujifilm X mount, not the medium format, Alan, sorry. Martin, do you have any sort of timeline on medium format, or is it under consideration at this point?
It's not under consideration at this point.
Okay. If anybody wants to add votes to that, put it in the chat room. But the product roadmap is just pretty clear for NOVOFLEX. So we appreciate knowing what people want.
Why would I choose one of your auto reversing rings over one of the many inexpensive manual rings available? Well, the auto reversing ring, as explained earlier, transfers the entire communication between your camera back and forth. So it's not only autofocus, it's aperture control. So everything is maintained. It's as if your lens would be sitting right in your camera's bayonet mount. And that's something a manual reversing ring can't do for you. So using a manual reversing ring is fine as long as you work with lenses that can be manually stopped down. And this is not possible with almost all of the current mirrorless system camera lenses, because all of these lenses have electromagnetic aperture control, and you have to have a camera to control the aperture in those lenses. Can I use camera built-in focus stacking with auto reversing rings? Yes, of course you can. That's something we got asked quite often, and it's definitely possible to use camera built-in focus stacking. Can I use the lens barrel to focus a reversed lens? Well, actually no, and we wouldn't recommend to do so. You can either rock back and forth handheld, and that's something we would definitely recommend to do, is to use one of our focusing racks. That's a very solid piece of equipment that lets you fine-tune focus, and that's very important if you're into focus stacking and all those kinds of things. Can I use my auto reversing ring with one of your Bellows systems? We covered that in some of the previous slides. Yes, of course, you can do that. We also assembled a complete smart Bellows kit. Maybe you can just bring this into the picture.
Sure.
That's our Ball F bellows combined with the auto reversing rings for Canon EOS R. And of course, that's something Brenda did ask in the chat section, the comments section. If you happen to have different camera systems, all you have to do is just buy a second auto reversing ring, the one for your second camera system, and you can just flip around back and forth between Canon, Fuji, Canon, Leica, so whatever you desire. That's also possible. So let's go on. What else do I need? Well, depending on the filter size of your lens, you might need a step-down ring to match your lens. The auto reversing ring comes with a 58mm filter thread by default, and it's very important, these rings are optional, so they do not come with the reversing ring kit. And yeah, but they are inexpensive, so you can relax. What else do we have?
All right. So the first thing I noticed was that there were many requests to play that video again. So I'm going to do that again right now, and then we're going to roll into the other questions that we had. So here's the video again.
The video with your Mamiya lens?
Yes, I can also take a link. I can post a link to this video in the comments so you guys can watch it as many times as you like. So here it goes. So since you can hear me, what I was doing was manually focusing sometimes, and every once in a while seeing if I could get the autofocus to work with a half press of the shutter. And here's me stopping down and opening it up to see how the lens is breathing. I found that fascinating. So I will definitely be posting a link to that. You can watch it. That's good. So Brenda said, so unless my filter size is 58mm, I need a step ring. Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yep. Okay. So, all right. So I have some other questions in here. Florencio, Bell Pro tilt shift, true tilt and shift in the future?
Say that again.
That's all the information I have. I assume that Florencio is asking if there is a tilt shift version of the Bellows.
Yes, there is. That's the Bell Pro TS. It offers a tilt and shift on both standards.
Okay. All right. Was it perhaps they asked that maybe in our slide presentation we didn't indicate that, or I thought we did.
Well, we only came up with the order codes, which are Bell Pro TS for the tilt shift version and Bell Pro 1 for the Bellows with the fixed standards.
Got it. Okay. Bradley asked, could a medium format Bellows be adapted? And it just jumped. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Could a medium format Bellows be adapted to smaller format cameras?
Well, actually, these bellows here are all universal bellows, so they're not medium format bellows by default. So if you purchase one of these bellows, that's how you purchase it. It doesn't come with specific mounts. So if you want to, let's say, combine a medium format lens with one of your Fuji or Leica or whatever cameras, you just have to buy the appropriate adapters for the camera and the lens side. So that's basically the mystery behind the universal bellows.
Okay, great. Brent is affirming that he'd really like this for Nikon F-mount DSLR.
We're working on that.
Got it. And we do have many votes for medium format bellows here. And Bradley, thanks. You said you're fascinated with the bellows system. We would like to add the reverse system. Excellent. I think the webinar did its job. This is a great place to ask us questions. So is info@novoflexus.com. That'll come right to us.
Okay, here's a follow-up by Florencio. Yes, but it only tilts in the Y direction. I think that's I think he's talking about the Bell Pro TS again. Mm-hmm. So if you want to have it tilt in the Y or in the X direction, you just add an L bracket, flip it around, and then you can also use it in product photography.
Yes. You just demonstrated you can rotate your camera.
Exactly. You can rotate the camera, or you can rotate the entire bellows by adding an L bracket underneath.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Yep. All right. What other questions do we have? Where is the Casball tilt shift? I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Haro? Yeah, Haro.
The Casball TS.
Yes.
We actually discontinued the Casball TS system. We have limited stock that's still available, but officially it's discontinued.
Will your system work with Sony G Master lenses, both fixed and zooms?
I think we already answered that previously.
Okay.
But yes, it does.
Sony E-mount, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's Sony E-mount. So both the smart bellows, the universal bellows, and the auto reversing rings are available for Sony E-mount lenses and cameras.
Okay. Bradley noted, I have a NOVOFLEX 105mm f4 bellows lens. Mm-hmm. Will this perform better than the bellows and this lens?
Well, reversing your lenses will get you to higher magnification factors, that's for sure, because the old 105mm NOVOFLEX bellows lens head was not capable of reaching 1:1, even 1:1.
Right. So. Maurice asked, and I forget what this was in reference to, perhaps we passed by it, is the ruler in centimeters? I guess that's the graduated markings?
This one here, yes, it's in centimeters.
Okay. Great.
And also the ruler on our bellows, yes.
Okay, fantastic. I don't think there's any other older questions that I missed. If I did, we will find it.
How about a bellows webinar? Bradley asks this.
Oh, it's on the map for sure. Yep.
We'll definitely do a webinar on bellows, and you will get an email in the not so distant future.
Yep. All right. So, just one more reiteration. If you guys are so enthusiastic about what we've been talking about. I did post the link to that Jot form, which allows you to let us know if you are interested in helping you find the right product. I'm going to post it one more time here. So, and we understand that it might be a little hard to find it in your area. No big deal. Brenda and I can help you connect with the right place to obtain it, and answer any other questions that you have. And also, yes, Brenda notes, please be sure to put your name in the form so we know how to address you. Great. Thank you, Charles. And thank you all. Martin, thank you for a wonderful presentation. It was very thorough and full of joy.
My pleasure.
I feel closer to the subject, pun intended.
It was lots of fun, definitely.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you all for attending. We appreciate you, and we will see you on the interwebs or in person. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.